Season 1, Episode 0, A Bad Day Prologue. Gamma's ankles burned like hellfire, the coarse rope biting into his skin as he swung upside down, the blood rushing to his head in relentless, throbbing tide. His bare chest was a mess of cuts and bruises, each breath sharp enough to make him hiss. The warehouse around him reeked of motor oil, mildew, and something fouler, like meat left to rot in the sun. Through his blurred, inverted vision, he could just make out the crumbling concrete walls, slick with grime, and the fractured skylight above, its glass replaced by a patchwork of board and hope. Well, this certainly wasn't how I wanted to make an entrance, Gamma muttered, his voice gravelly and raw. The rope creaked as he twisted, the motion sending a fresh wave of nausea through him. To be honest, having me hung up on a fucking rope 10 goddamn feet in the air isn't helping. A dry laugh echoed from the shadows.
Gamma!
The voice was smooth, cold, the kind that slithered under skin. Gamma squinted, muscles tensing as footsteps tapped across the floor, slow, deliberate. A figure emerged, blacklit by the dim glare of a flickering overhead bulb. Tall, lean, draped in a white fur coat that glowed like a ghost against the filth. His hair was slicked into jagged peaks, black as oil, and his face pale. Unnaturally so, like a corpse pulled from a freezer. In one hand, he gripped a cane topped with a silver wolf's head, its eyes gleaming like it knew secrets. You're probably wondering how I managed to screw myself over. Again, Gamma spat, craning his neck to glare at the man. Blood dribbled from his split lip, pooling in his eyebrow. Well, that's a good fucking question. The man, Victor Savitar, though Gamma wouldn't learn that name until much later, tilted his head, his lips curled into a smirk, sharp enough to cut glass. It's 2279, and humanity is basically 99% fucked because of these gods. Gamma strained against the ropes, veins bulging his neck. You're enjoying this, aren't you piece of jack shit? Victor leaned in, the wolf's head, cane, tapping rhythmically against the floor. Up close, his eyes were wrong. Not a color? Really. More like voids, swallowing the light. His breath smelled like mint and gunpowder.
Enjoyment is a luxury,
he said, his voice a velvet growl.
but curiosity, now that's a vice.
He reached out, the tip of his cane pressing into Gamma's sternum, hard enough to bruise.
What are you really? A failed experiment? A rat who slipped through the cracks?
Gamma bared his teeth. I'm the guy who's gonna shove that cane up your... The cane struck his ribs. Crack! A sound like snapping kindling. Gamma's breath left him in a wheeze.
Define!
Victor circled him, the fur coat brushing the floor.
But defiance is just fear with a louder voice.
He paused, glancing at the blood-streaked walls.
You're here because you chose to be, because you thought you could outrun them, the gods, time, yourself.
Gamma laughed, a ragged, bloody sound. Yeah, unless your excuse. Just like a Christmas nightmare and kidnap people for fun. Daddy issues? Mommy skipped town with the tooth fairy? For a heartbeat, Victor's mask slipped. His jaw twitched. Then he smiled. Why? Predatory.
You'll learn, Gamma. Or you'll break. But either way.
He turned, coat flaring as he strode towards the exit.
You'll entertain me.
The door slammed. Gamma hung there, alone, the rope groaning. Typical fucking Tuesday. Same rancid warehouse. Same bloodstained robe. Same fuck this shit headache. Gamma's arms hung numb at his sides, swaying like dead meat every time the rope creaked. He counted 17 water stains on the ceiling, memorized the graffiti on the far wall. Festus blows goats. Classic. Even named the cockroach scuttling by his ear, Steve. Steve was an asshole. The door groaned open. Victor strode in, crisp white coat trailing behind him like a bridal veil. Fresh manicure. New cane. This one taught us an eagle school. Its beak pried open in a silent scream. Morning, sunshine. Gamma rasped. His throat felt like sandpaper. Bring me coffee, cream, no sugar, lots of cream. Victor didn't smile. He never smiled. Not really. Just that dead-eyed smirk like a shark who'd read a book on humor and missed the point.
Still breathing,
Victor observed, tilting his head.
Disappointing.
He raised the cane. Gamma glimpsed the glint of a blade hidden in the shaft. Wait! The word clawed its way out before Gamma could stop it. Victor paused. Eyebrow arched. Gamma swallowed blood. You want to hear my story? Fine. But you're going to sit the hell down and shut your pretty mouth. A beat. Victor's void eyes narrowed. Then slowly, he lowered the cane.
Go on.
Dava snorted. Not here. Untie me. Get me a whiskey. Maybe a steak. Then I'll talk. The Victor's laugh was a frostbitten thing.
You're in no position to bargain.
Gamma let his head loll back, staring at the ceiling. But you're waking up. I got decades of stories. Wars, gods, the time I blew up a Starbucks with a toaster. But hey, you're lost, Dracula. Silence. Then a snick of a switchblade. The rope snapped. Gamma hit the floor shoulder first, beam exploding like a flashbang. He rode onto his back, coughing, as Victor loomed overhead, blade glinting.
Talk.
Gamma puffed himself up on his elbows, grinning bloody. Where's my steak?
Talk.
Fine. Gamma spat a blob of red onto Victor's shoes. But you didn't have Vader notepad. Gamma sat slouched in a moth-eaten armchair, a half-empty whiskey bottle dangling from his fingers. Victor perched on a steel crate, spine rigid, gaze unblinking. Aside, the smog had thickened, staining the sunset the color of a bruise.
Start at the beginning.
Victor said. Gamma took a swig. The whiskey burned like holy water. Beginnings boring, couple planets baimlim. Gods playing grab ass. Yawned.
The relevant beginning.
Relevant? Gaina larked to laugh. Ha! Buddy, none of this is relevant. That's the fucking point. Victor's knuckles whitened around his cane. Dan was smirked. Fine. Let's call this Issue 1. He leaned forward, eyes glinting. Once upon a time, there was a guy. Not a hero, not a villain, just a guy. Damn it. And then the gods pasted in his cereal. Victor opened his mouth. Gamma wagged a finger. You shut up. This is my story. The bottle was empty. The room swam. Gamma's tongue felt like a dead animal, but it kept talking. Kept spinning tales of bow-snapping fights and god blood ray. Of cities drowned in fires, and fuck-ups that could have been avoided with a better therapist. Victor never moved, never blinked, just listened. When Gamma finally trailed off, voice raw, Victor stood.
That's not a story. That's a confession.
Gamma flopped back in the chair, arms swung over his eyes. Same difference. A pause. Then the click of a dress, shoes fading. Hey, Vlad, Gamma called. Victor stopped at the door. This? Gamma gestured vaguely at the room, the rope, the blood. This was just a shit day. Just a bad day prologue.
And tomorrow?
Victor didn't turn. Gamma grinned with all teeth. Tomorrow's issue 1. The door slammed. Alone again, Gamma toasted the carcass of the whiskey bottle. To the fucking saga.